Hell yeah.
Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you'll need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Yo, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Piper Academy. We have got a great show lined up today. We hit that CME gap. We talked about it on Monday. That's exactly where price went. We got a lot of red on the charts today, and we're going to be taking a look at where Bitcoin could be heading next. Is there hope in the future? Right below us, we're going to be taking a look at that and a whole lot more today on Piper Academy. Let's get it, guys. Classes in session. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Piper Academy. I am Army Piper, and yesterday I had a great time on a show called Billy Goat Tales. So if you guys were there and you were watching it, well, welcome to you all. If you are here repeating another class with Piper Academy, welcome, alumni. We're always glad to have you here. But I'm not doing the show by myself today. I still got OC Guy. He's down there braving the storms, the hurricane that's heading his way. But he's here. He's here today. So, OC, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, I think we were talking about a real news right here in Mexico about all the people getting together to blow out of course the upcoming hurricane. So, man,
Yes,
I think...
You told me that, and I said, they know that's not possible, right? He goes, I don't know. I think they're all thinking that if they get together, stand on the shoreline, they can all blow simultaneously and reverse this 200-mile-per-hour Cat 5 hurricane that's coming in. So, hey, to each their own.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you absolutely think that's possible, I think you should be there. Take no shelter. Go try to blow it out. Just whenever you take in air, doing unsynchronized, because you're gonna start making the opposite effect when you start, taking air in and pulling in the hurricane.
Crux of Crypto said you're wearing a Bitcoin orange shirt today. So
yeah,
he said, I see you. I see you.
I love this shirt, but it always messes up the white balance. So every single time that I wear it, it kind of like I try not to move too much because I start getting bluish or orangey in the chat.
Absolutely. Shout out to Billy Goat Tales there in the chat. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you guys having us on last night. I see BC Corp in here. That's Blackie Shane. He's going to be on the show Friday with Lunar Beaches Crypto. We're going to have if OC is able to go live with us, because Friday may be a little questionable for him. He's got that satellite internet, that Starlink. So we'll see how that braves a hurricane. Yeah, so hopefully we have the 5 guys. It's going to be 5 guys Friday, and it's going to be a great show. So I'm excited about that. And then tomorrow, you know who's on tomorrow, OC? Do you know?
Who's on tomorrow?
Amy Lives Crypto. Yeah, she's going to be on here with us for 4th of July. 4th of July tomorrow. We're going to be doing Freedom Money on 4th of July with Amy Lives Crypto. We're going to talk about some stuff, and then we're also going to do some giveaways. So if you guys are members here with the alumni, you will be entered into that chance to win. Crux is getting that list for me together tonight, and we're going to do that giveaway tomorrow. We're going to give away $100 in crypto and a shirt from In and Out Crypto, giving you guys some merch. So it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. But unless you got anything for the audience right now, OC, I want to go ahead and get into the news. Do you have anything for them before we go over there?
No, let's go over the news. I think the important news that I had blinded out, it was already given.
I like it. I got to turn the AC on. It's getting a little warm over here. Guys, it's like 100 degrees every day in El Paso. It's just been miserable. So let's go ahead and jump over into the news and take a look. All the news. It's fit to be news. We're going to start with not the crypto bubbles. They're all red, but we're going to go here. We're sitting at a fear and greed index of 50 right now, guys. We're sitting at neutral. Nothing major going on there. As long as we just stay in this neutral, I'll be okay. But I think tomorrow we might be heading down to some greed. We do have crypto bubbles. Looking at a sea of red here going on. ENS down 16.1%. The meme coins taking a serious gut punch. Brett's down 11.6. We got Pepe down 9.9. WIF is down 13.3. Bonk is down 13.5. Tau is down. That's BitTensor. It's down because they had a major hack on their network, and that is why they are down so much. If you guys didn't know, AKT is down 10.2, though. Guys, Fetch and AGIX are continuing to get pummeled. Even though they've started that whole transition, it's scaring a lot of people how it's going to work out. So a lot of people just sold, said, I'll buy ASI later. Let's jump down here and take a look. You guys can see Bitcoin currently sitting at $60,337. Ethereum at $3,300. Any big movers down here? Let's go see. 4.42% is what Bitcoin's down. 4.4 for Ethereum. Solana is down 5%. BNB is down 4%. But look at this. Some of these other, like Toncoin, only down 2.4%. That's not bad. XRP down 2.4%. Cardano's only down 2.4%. It actually had a pretty good run for the day yesterday. So overall, like, things are down. Memes are down more. But some of these altcoins are holding up pretty decent. We're going to be taking a look at that chart that I have that's got the total 2 minus Bitcoin, see how that one's looking on there. Let's go ahead and jump over to the liquidations, guys. Last 24 hours, liquidations were 63,836 traders liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $181.4 million. Largest single liquidation happened on Ethereum for $4 million, even on OKX. So some people getting wrecked there. You guys remember these numbers were really low earlier in the week. Now people are starting to get back into this trading, and most of them were longs that were liquidated there. $158 million worth of longs liquidated versus 23.3 shorts, million in shorts. So economic data. This is what caused some more pullback this morning, guys, was these numbers. And then also yesterday, Jerome Powell spoke yesterday, and I got a breakdown of what he said in that meeting, and we'll talk about that here in just a second too. We had ADP employment change. This is private sector employment, guys. I told you yesterday, look, disparaging separation gap here between the consensus and the forecast. Consensus was out to be 160,000. Forecast was out it would be 100,000. Actually was previously at 157K. It came in at 150K. What does this mean? What does this mean, Army Piper? Private businesses in the U.S. added 150,000 workers to their payroll in June 2024. It's the lowest amount in 5 months and below the forecast of 160K, and the downwardly revised, because they went back in at the back table and said, oh, by the way, this is last month's, and just put it back there again, revised to 157,000 in May. The service providing sector added 136,000 jobs, namely leisure and hospitality. Professional business services added 25,000. Trade and transportation utilities added 15,000. Financial activities added 11,000 jobs. Education and health services, 9,000. While job losses occurred in information, the goods producing sector added 14,000 jobs, led by construction. And then both natural resourcing and mining was down 8,000 there, manufacturing down 5,000. So that's where all those jobs are at. Did not meet that consensus number, lower than what it previously was. It's the lowest in 5 months there. And then, of course, we did get initial jobless claims. This is how many people filed for unemployment. That came in at 238,000, was expected to be 235,000 on the consensus and forecast. Currently was previously was at 234,000, came in at 238. So we got lower numbers being offered on the private sector at the same time that we have a growing number of unemployment claims. So that's what we're seeing there. I want to jump over and take a look at what we have here on X marks the spot. This is the Kabisi letter. And this is what this is a breakdown of Jerome Powell's comments yesterday, because we talked about that he was speaking yesterday, right? The trend of disinflation appears to be resuming. That was point number one that he made. He said we need to be more confident before reducing rates, and so meaning they don't have the confidence to lower those Fed interest rates yet. They don't see what they need to see for that. Fed doesn't see 2% inflation this year or next year. Matter of fact, he did say if they do see it, it'll be the end of 2025. So that 2% target they don't expect that in the next year to 2 years. Budget deficit is very large and unsustainable. You think? That budget deficit is ridiculous, man. 4% unemployment is still a very low unemployment rate, and moving too fast. Can I buy a vowel? I'd like to buy an O, please. Moving too fast creates risk of inflation returning. The Fed needs more data before rate cuts can begin. So that is that is the so what of what he said yesterday there in his meeting. And I think that is it for now. Yeah, we'll come back to this stuff later. Let's jump over to Duocam. That's what I got though. That's the data, guys. Jobs are not looking good. We had higher unemployment or higher jobless claims, so people filing for unemployment on top of lower job offerings, kind of creating a little symmetric triangle, if you will. You know, it's going to have a breakout. Is it going to go up or down on the unemployment number? We'll start doing TA on economic charts. So how about that? So, OC, that was the data yesterday. And, you know, also, just so you guys are tracking, today, the TradFi, the stock market, will be closing at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which will be about 3.5 hours from now. So the stock market closing early today. It's only a half day of trading. So I think we're going to see some very volatile movement going on in the noon time period because those markets are shutting down so early. So just want to make sure you guys are aware that is what's happening today. But OC, what do you think on these jobs? I mean, you're down there in Mexico. I'm sure you guys are seeing, you know, the job market fluctuating. Also, everyone's still trying to rebound from the shakeup of what happened after the markets got pumped with a lot of money and handouts and so on and so forth. So what's the job market down there like in Mexico where you're at?
It's a little bit of on a tough spot. For one hand, the governments keep pushing new, I don't know, new taxes for everybody, and especially to the mid and I don't know, enterprises, right? Which are the ones that are pushing the higher or the new jobs, creation system here in Mexico. So between what we're still fighting to get back of previous areas or zones at this point, I mean, seems like the government is not making enough efforts or actually kind of like caring enough of how the cycle builds up and not helping in that. So we see a ton of informal jobs being created. But that is not actually that good for the economy because that does not recirculate taxes that otherwise could be going to the government and applying for stabilizing the economy. Yeah, it seems like we are the highest coin compared to the US dollar to grow through these last 3 years. But that also has to do with how the dollar had performed. And I mean, it's been shaked out a little bit now that we have a new girl president or woman president in the upcoming shift.
Okay, well, there you go. So they're having the same issues down there as what we're having here. Just
Yes.
maybe different variables going on as cause and effect. So that's interesting to see. Let's go ahead and jump over into the charts and let's take a look at Bitcoin because yesterday, guys, we talked about this. We talked about this right here. This is the CME gap, and we talked about on Friday that we had closed this level down here. This was the Friday close, and then this is the Monday open. Guys, we literally ran down there. We wicked down a little bit below it, hit 59,765 range there, and then bounced back up, closing out the CME gap. So this CME gap, done. Check mark, get it out of here. It's good to go. Where are we at on the actual Bitcoin chart? Well, we got some key levels here. I'm going to go ahead and just lay this out. We're going to talk about these key levels because if you guys aren't tracking these levels, you might want to put them on your charts because there's some things going on that I don't think everyone is watching. One, we came down, we closed. This was the target on here, the green box. We gave you guys this on the show. And then I also had it stretched down because we have the 786 here of the Fibonacci's. I said, look, guys, this is our 786. If we go and pull this in so you guys can see this entire thing, let's put this on the daily. There we go. Come on, daily. We got this fib levels, and these are running from the low here to the high here. So there's your low in the dynamic reactor. There's your high. We got this nice channel going through here. You see this trade channel? It's a falling channel. It's bullish when it breaks out of that typically to the upside. So, you know, for example, it comes down here and it breaks out, not straight up. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But, you know, straight up, it does a breakout to the upside of this pattern typically. So now that you guys know these levels, let's go down here and talk about all the confluence that is happening right below us and why this level matters. This is what I was talking about. Price. This is the price. It was on the thumbnail, right? Load my fixed range volume profiles, please. Thank you very much. All right, so this is the level that I'm watching for, guys. I think we're going to pull down a little bit lower. We might come up here and reject off of this value area low and then come down. I think we might play in here a little bit. But ultimately, I believe we're heading right here. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's grab this. Let's grab this T-box here. Let's go ahead and bring it down to here. And then we're going to bring it like this. And let's go ahead and just extend it a little bit below for that liquidity below that. The guys, that range is $58,250, we'll call it. So 58,250 is the range that I think we're going to be heading to. Multiple reasons. Reason number one, we have the 887 down there of the platinum pocket. There's your top of your platinum pocket. There's the bottom. I think that's one reason. Two, it's the bottom of that channel that I showed you guys, that downward channel, that falling channel that we have on the chart. Three, if we turn on the exponential moving average, guys, we have the 200-day EMA coming into play in this pocket. This is going to be a key level to hold. Now, I know the 887, yep, looks great. We got this pattern. It looks great. Guys, breaking the 200-day exponential moving average. I know I'm on a 4-hour chart, but I've got these set to daily. You'll see right there one day. Breaking the 200 EMA on the daily can be a bad thing. Matter of fact, I was just over watching Piano Matty B, and he literally was just talking about this. So let's go in and let's turn off all the drawings. Goodbye, drawings. There we go. And let's just take a look at this, what I'm seeing here on this 200 historically, okay? Because if we look back here last cycle, there we go. You guys can see here, 200 is the orange line, just so you're tracking. It's the one right here. We had some support here. We fell, and that's what led to a lower low. That was the bottom pretty much over that period of time. We get our bounce and support off of it here, and that's what led to another high. We got a rejection here on it. Once we broke below it, it led to a low. And you guys can see this played hell with all the other ones starting to cross over. We started getting multiple death crosses of EMAs. We stay under it, and we were under it for a long time. Guys, if we break, once we get above it, we should stay above it, except for these periods here of sideways action, right? We have got, with the sell-off that's happened here and getting the rejection that we had here on this 100-day moving average, if we don't get the bounce, just did all that. There we go. If we don't get the bounce on this 200 here at 58,000 price range, 58,200, 58,300, 250, somewhere in that ballpark, then we are likely heading down to the 300-day moving average. And that 300-day moving average is coming in at about $53,000. Go ahead and turn those back on, guys. That's a little bit above this area that I had called here for a target goal of 50,800 up to 52K from this previous volume node right here. And you can see that on the fixed range volume profile, a very harsh spike of volume there. If we come down to that level, that would be in line with what we've talked about, because it would be the tops of this price range. So 200-day needs to hold right here, guys. That's the bottom line. $58,250 Bitcoin needs to hold. That's what I'm seeing there. Let's go take a look at what we're seeing here on the oscillators for the daily. We do have an upside movement here, but it looks like we might be getting a little bit of a goose head here. Maybe this pullback comes down here, and that gives us a goose head for another goose head here on the upside. But we do have a little bit of red candle there. I'm curious to see what OC is seeing on his chart, though. So let's jump over OC. Walk us through, man. Let's go top down and just talk about what you're seeing on Bitcoin. Is it in line with what I'm seeing on my charts?
Absolutely. It is very much in line. I just want to point out a couple of things that I was looking at yesterday, and I called them in the 30-minute charts. So I was looking at this trend line here, right? So I was saying, well, I do believe that we're going to get here maybe and have a reaction to it. And remember that we had the dynamic reactor right there. And what happened, we went right straight to that dynamic reactor. Yes, as always, the price just moved a little bit faster of my time frame prediction, but it was right there. Remember, going back down, getting back to it, and then just falling. Seems like on that trend line we went straight through it, so didn't actually work as well as I was expecting. But also I was expecting a flip of the ribbon. That ribbon seems to be already have flipped right here, so that's why I'm just pulling it out to my left in here. But also, if I keep it out where it was supposed to be, or where I left it yesterday, we can see that we are making that little push to the upside in here. So I am expecting a bounce out of these zones. If not, we're absolutely going to be getting some to a lower areas right here, to a previous lows, as Piper is has been mentioning. And guess also what we got there on our predicted ranges. We have the purple line. For me, purple line is the last line of defense before we do a big movement to the opposite way. So that would be, again, just in line with Piper. That will be the last area of support. Also, I want to touch a little bit on the psychology of trading, because today I was telling Piper right before the show, you know what? I'm kind of looking tired. I feel bored about Bitcoin. I mean, I already have allocated my phones. It seems like we're stuck right down here, and it's kind of like about time that I want to see Bitcoin moving. But exactly this is the exact point where I'm feeling like lowering my guard. But I mean, we know Bitcoin kind of like just waits for that little second and then just makes a move. So right at these areas, I think that I should be paying more attention and shaking out that feeling of boredom. So, but what do you think about that, Piper?
Yeah, it's a thing, man. That is what happens when Bitcoin goes sideways. It is a boring market, and it can last a long time. I did say that we would likely see this range, and if you guys want to see the range I'm talking about, this is the range right here. Yeah, and by the way, still no green dot on that hash rate ribbon, guys. Told you guys back here, hey, we're red, and it's still gray, still in capitulation. But as long as we trade in this range here, I think this could be the summer trend. I really do. I'm watching the bottom side on this is coming in at about $56,000. So if we get down there and we break that, then that 52K, 53K is in play, which is that 300 day exponential moving average we just looked at, and then it's also that range that of the 52K. It's this volume node. There's a big volume node right here. Until then, though, I think as long as we just trade sideways here in this range for the summer, I'm okay with that. I will be bored. So don't let your boredom, OC, don't let your boredom become, make you do bad things and do dumb things. That's called complacency, just so you know. When you get bored and then you do things that are detrimental, it's called complacency. It's the number one killer in the Middle East for combat deployed troops. They get complacent because they get bored, and then they let their guard down, bam, gone, sniper, right? That's what can happen with you in crypto. Do not get complacent. Do not let the boredom cause you to make bad mistakes and not pay attention. Shout out to TradeFly in the chat. I see you. But yeah, don't get complacent. That's my words of wisdom today. Complacency kills, and I do not want to see anyone's portfolio get killed because they got complacent and messed up. So, thoughts on that, OC?
I mean, absolutely. I also like I do enjoy the ranging markets, but this last downtrend for me has felt like forever. And yeah, I mean, I usually teach or show, like, for example, everybody wants to make this move, right? Everybody wants to be in for that crazy move. And let me just measure that, for example, right here. But if you're able to time like the range, let's just figure out how big of a movement you can do by just stacking or knowing what is like the range pattern, right? And we're even going to be making this, I mean, I would be saying, like, very peaky and not perfect. So as you can see, we already have a 1, 2, 3. Well, we're going for the fourth movement. And then, I mean, you don't even need to catch the very bottom or the very top. And then as long as you stay on track, I mean, everybody is just are trying to get the big move. What they don't realize is that, look at that, we haven't even finished the range, and we already have gone over twice as much of the pump that everybody was complaining about not getting. So for me, trading the range, it is pretty significant because it is just like cheating. I mean, if you know what's going to be bouncing from the top and bouncing from the bottom, and you just take advantage of that. And as you can see, I did not even include, those out of the range areas. And look at that. I mean, you would have done much better trading where you expected to be bounced than those unexpected movements that everybody claims to be taking or not taking. So yeah, I mean, I like ranges, but yeah, I just wanted also to touch on exactly what you mentioned, like getting that boredom build up, and that is dangerous. That is very, very dangerous.
Yep, for sure. Let's jump over and let's talk about some things that could be coming up. I do think that we're going to have these downside moves, but we have some things coming up here on the economic side, the macroeconomics. That's where I like to talk about because I think it's the heaviest weighted vote out there, right? So let's go take a look at this and we'll talk about some things going on. First off, guys, you guys remember this article? I talked about this early in the week and before Bitcoin price rebound may hit in 10 days as Fed liquidity rips higher. So I just want you guys to understand what Fed liquidity is. And it has to do with the bonds, how much money's coming into the bonds, stuff like that, the ISM versus the CPI, stuff like that. This is liquidity that the Fed Reserve has to have in order to start putting out money, right? And then when that liquidity hits the markets, assets rip through the roof. That's the flow of how it all works. When the Fed has liquidity, assets gain, and that's where you make your money at. So let's go take a look at what I'm seeing here on this. This is from Zero Hedge. He said ISM prices suggest CPI is set to drop to 2% or less. So all three charts you show, this individual replied and said, all three charts that you show, falling CPI and low ISM, indicate that the time for increasing liquidity is coming, which leads to currency debasement and an increase in asset value. There's the first one. I wanted to talk about that because that's very important. Was there another thing in here? Yes, right there. Kabisi letter. I'm seeing a lot of pieces. Guys, I'm putting all this together. I'm trying to aggregate this so you guys can see the big picture because I'm seeing some stuff that matters here. Are bonds becoming more popular? This is TLT. If you guys don't know, it's a ETF on bonds, right? TLT, a popular bond tracking ETF, recorded a 2.7 billion inflow last Monday, the largest inflow on record. Year to date, the ETF has seen inflows of $4.4 billion, on track for its largest annual inflow on record. To put this into perspective, TLT has $54 billion in assets under management. This is all despite TLT falling 4% year to date and 37% over the last 4 years. Are long-term bonds set to make a comeback? Guys, out of that $4.4 billion of the year, $2.7 billion happened on Monday. That is a lot of money, and that money flowing back into bonds indicates that money is coming back in to add to the liquidity pool for the Federal Reserve. I do think that we are on the precipice of another breakout, but we've got to test these lower lows that we're talking about just to make sure that those will support. This liquidity comes in. A lot of people get shaked out. You might want to call it well games, whatever. You got the Mt. Gox sell-off that's coming. But at the end of the day, guys, I am still bullish. We just got to get through the summer. Remember, lagging indicators, once this Fed liquidity comes in, it takes a few months to happen, but I do think that by the end of summer, we're going to see another rip-off movement in the asset market. Bitcoin and the altcoins are going to have a rocket rally. So that's just one man's opinion, one bald man's opinion with the half-ass beard. That's what I got for you. So, OC, the guy with the great beard, what are your thoughts on this? When the government has Fed liquidity, these markets pump. It's always happened. Decades and decades and decades of historical market action has shown this. Can you make it? Can you make it through the summer with your boredom? Can you just not break anything, OC?
No, absolutely. I mean, one important thing I believe on trading is to acknowledge whether you're a sentimental trader or you're not, right? I've talked numerous times that I am a sentimental trader, and talking it out with, for example, Piper, TradeFlight, or my group of friends and family, that helps me realize and settle down those emotions. And hearing myself, that usually brings me back into sense. So yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. I do have this one last article. It's a little piece of hopium. I'm going to give it to you guys early. You guys have been good in class today, so you guys get some hopium early. But we're going to go ahead and drop into some alts right after this. So, guys, let us know in the chat what altcoins you want to see some TA on. OC and I will be ready to run with that. But let's go ahead and drop over here. Take a look at this. This is your hopium for the day, guys. Bitcoin sinks under $61,000 as one trader sticks to his $150,000 prediction for the year. U.S. listed ETFs ended a 5-day inflow streak with $13 million in net outflows on Tuesday, while concerns of Mt. Gox distribution may have contributed to a sell-off. That in Germany. Germany's selling off a crap ton of Bitcoin. Bitcoin and major cryptocurrencies experienced a sharp decline. The price drop was attributed partly to concerns of large Bitcoin sells coming from Mt. Gox exchange. And then one trader continues to predict a Bitcoin price of $150,000 this year, despite that short-term turbulence. That is here's it coming from. Bitcoin dropped to 60,900 from over 62,000 shortly after the Tokyo markets open, with losses up 3% across Ether, Solana, and Doge. XRP was little changed, while Cardano's ADA paired some gains from Tuesday's rally, which we already talked about at the beginning of the show. The liquid index of the biggest tokens, the CoinDesk 20, the CD20, has fallen more than 1.7% in the past 24 hours. The Mt. Gox release also slated to happen this week, guys, and that's an overhang of about 140,000 Bitcoin continuing to weigh on the markets because of their sell-off. They will start distributing those assets on that were stolen in the 2014 hack in July. So this whole month we will see this stuff trickle out there. Some traders' long-term bullish outlook remains intact, though, with expectations of a rally up to $150,000 after the Mt. Gox. This is from Tom Lee. He is the head of research at Fund Strat Global Advisors. He was in a CNBC interview on Tuesday. He said $150,000 is within a reasonable range of where it could hit. He said in February that he expects Bitcoin to reach $150,000 in 2024 because of the demand from the spot ETFs, the reward halving, and the Federal Reserve interest rate cuts. I don't think we're going to get those interest rate cuts this year, but I do think what he's missing there will be a Fed Reserve, but it's going to be Fed Reserve liquidity. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Write it into your notebook. You will be quizzed on this later. Fed liquidity matters, guys. So you guys need to just keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm bullish still. I'm just looking at these as opportunities. I will let you know when these opportunities become too painful to present themselves as opportunities to me. You guys will know. But right now, still looking at a bull run later in the year. So OC, what do we got for TA? We got some people dropping some stuff.
Yeah, we already have Gala and Solana being requested. Guys, remember to let us know in the side chat what you want us to take a look at. If I have missed anybody, please type it back. I'm right here like a hawk. So other than that, we have Gala and Solana.
All right, which one do you want?
Let's do Solana.
All right, you got Solana.
Take a look at. Yep. Perfect. All right, let's bring it up. So Solana, here we go. There we go. Just to cover for TradeFlight that he is in the chat in the meantime. So let's bring up Solana here. And I was expecting a movement to the upside here, a bounce to this area right here, but seems like it has been almost cut short by this movement to Bitcoin. But it's not all lost. If you can see right here, we're still within that trend line that it is acting upon, that also dynamic reactor. So if we look at a bigger time frame, like for example daily, I think we're still within the plane of that possible retest. we're still above technically that dynamic reactor, and also we're breaking through the zero line on the daily. Let's take a look at the 4 hours very quickly. I believe that we're still bullish. We are green in candles. The only thing that I don't like at this point, it is the prophecies is marking profit stumps, and we have this trend line in here. So very quickly, if we start breaking this trend and strap on, because we could be, and most likely we will be visiting lower lows. This will highly depend on Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin makes a move to the downside, Solana will also be breaking and not holding its position. Let's see, how would I be trading this? So far, I want to see if FOR flip of the ribbon right here. And as soon as I see an FOR, I'll be willing to open or jump into a long position. But other than that, I will not be taking that long position, because I could still go to back again to previous lows, somewhere around 127-ish, for that high order block that we also have right down there. And that has been a historical area of liquidity grabbing. So just be aware, because we could be having a fast move to the upside if we start hitting those areas. But yeah, other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
All right, I got Gala games up. We had a request for that, so let's take a look at Gala. And just for the record, guys, I used to own a lot of Gala. I am not a fan of Gala anymore. I think Gala as a project has weakened greatly. Not financial advice, but one thing that I will point out is that I sold when we could not get back to the 236 back here. I didn't have this fixed range volume profile. That would have helped a lot if I had that up. But I sold my Gala games back there when we got the bounce on the 50. Because remember, I say if we bounce on the 50, we're bullish. If we break under, we're bearish. I was watching for us to get up to the 236 and re-break that for a continuation pattern to break the previous high there. Didn't happen. Ended up selling somewhere in between the 236 and the 382. But what I will point out is that we have fought hard here with the golden pocket. We fought hard to keep support on the 200 and 300. And I just talked to you guys about breaking below that 200 EMA on the daily is a bad thing. Well, look there. We broke beneath it. We tried to come back up and hold it. We actually got perfect rejections here twice on a double top off of that 300-day exponential moving average. And now we have lost the platinum pocket. You can see here it tried to hold it, tried to hold the value area low. Fought multiple times here going back to 17 June to get above and back into the platinum pocket here. Could not do it, guys. It's getting rejected, and I would say that we probably have downside coming at least down to the 1-to-1, which would be at about 2.0 cents. So about 2 cents on the dot. That would be the previous range back here for the bottom of the cycle there, which was back in February. So that was the bottom of this local cycle. Not looking bullish at all, in my opinion, on Gala. A lot of things have changed with Gala Games, let me tell you. When they did that whole merge to Gala 2.0, I think it freaked a lot of people out. They had some issues there. So, yeah, Gala can really mess with my emotions. It did me too, and that's why I was like, I am not even playing this game with you, Gala. I'm out. I was in really good profit anyways, though, because I was buying on the daily back here in like October, November. So I was all the way back in here. So I had good profit. But right now, guys, yeah, watch that 2 cent mark. That's going to be the area to watch. It does look like we are getting a little bit of a goose head here, but now it looks like a really short goose head. And when you get those short goose heads, this could trade sideways, causes all of this stuff to settle down a little bit, and then just comes back down here. Now, mind you, if we get back above 2.8 cents and we find support there, then that's a whole different game. But until then, guys, bearish, and it's looking down. You can see the prime score sitting at 1. Consolidation is at 1. This thing is just bearish as all get out on the daily. So let's kick it back over to UOC and see what you got, man.
Absolutely. So I have right here, TOT was requested. I already have updated the Discord channel for request, and it was I shared 20+ year treasury bonds of ETF against NASDAQ. So it's not looking good, although I believe it's not looking that bad either, right? So let's just go for the first things that I can see right here. If I start turning on my indicators, we can see right here that we have a symmetrical triangle. We have a breakout. We're going for that secondary retest, which is back inside this trend line. So I'm going to be doubling down on this trend line because this pattern has already been broken. So let's go to the next one here. What I can see right here, let me zoom in, and this is a 4-hour chart, right? Is that we have gone through the dynamic reactor, but also we have gone through the dynamic reactor back and forth, which indicates me that we are into a range. And are we ranging? Absolutely. We can see that range. So that is the only thing in which I believe that this breakout is not that significant, but still I'm not going to be lowering down my guard, because here's my dynamic reactor and I could very easily be breaking or bouncing down if I do not make it past or through the 0 line. So if I see a bounce out of the money flow POC and this order block along the dynamic reactor, because that's where the confluence is at the very first point, and if I see the rejection of the rebound or flip of the rebound FOR to the downside and staying below the 0 line, this is gonna be worrying, because I believe that we could be then breaking this lower trend line right down here. Let's go to the daily just to wrap things up in here, and I think that here we can see a little bit of a better angle. What I can see right here is that we are on a broadening wedge or a megaphone, right? So extending out to the right up megaphone. So the same goes right now. I mean, I want to see the price break to that dynamic reactor and not to bounce from the dynamic reactor. Otherwise, we could be getting some lower points, and the next area of support will be at this louder block for 88.99. So yeah, looking forward for that FOR. Seems like we already have a reversal, but we are not out of the woods, and we're still bearish on the bonds so far. But yeah, other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
Yeah, that's the chart that I was just talking about. That's a good indicator for the Fed liquidity too, guys, just so you're tracking. So that is a very important chart to watch. TLT is the ticker, and that is the bonds market ETF. If we see that continue to go up, that means that money is going into those ETFs and into those bonds, and that is Fed liquidity. It's all connected. It's all interwoven together. So that is what you guys need to keep an eye on, that chart right there. So let's jump over and take a look at what I'm seeing here on stacks. We had a request for stacks, so let's jump over here. Look at the stacks on the 4-hour. We did have this range up here that I said, hey, look, this is resistance. And you can see we literally got a perfect rejection there off of that. We can remove that now. We're down. We're below that. So let's turn off these EMAs for a sec. Well, first of all, look, guys, 300, we rejected off of it, downside, right? But if we take a look here where we are currently, we're in the platinum pocket. It was good support here. It had a good run, had a good rally, nice, good support. Now we are in the platinum pocket as our trading range. Let's see here. I think we could wick down and hit this 1-to-1, but let's extend this fixed range volume profile out a little bit and include this big cluster of price action here just to see how this looks. Yeah, guys, we're at it. Look, this whole area here, a lot of volume there. You can see two big spikes. We got one coming in right here below us, which is where we bounced right there. Let me mark that on the map, on the chart right there. We bounced right there, and then we also bounced right there on that point of control. I think that if we come down to $1.50, that is going to be your prime buy-in range for stacks. Keep in mind, though, if we have a continuation breakdown of Bitcoin, all bets are off the table with altcoins. But we are sitting, again, below that 300-day exponential moving average. And that point of control at $1.50 is going to be vitally important to look at. Let's move over to the daily and take a look at the oscillator so we can get that big picture view. Yeah, it looks like we could be. It looks like we're getting a wave action here. You guys see the little wave? It's a little up and down. That's what I'm going to be watching here as we go sideways. Watch for a rejection here on the 0 line, though, because when we have these short goose heads, we typically do get rejected on that 0 line. We're about going sideways on RSI Prime. So watch for, again, $1.50. That would be a prime buy-in area, not financial advice on stacks. Let's kick it over to UOC and see what you got, bro. We got about 15 minutes. Let's go.
Absolutely. Just a quick shout out there. You have a special request to do DXY. So I'm going to be taking INJ very quick in here and then turning it back to you. INJ. Here we go. So just moving quick, we had an ongoing analysis. This is my whole mess. So I think it's time for me to get rid of things. Before that, I just want to point out this area of support that we have been seeing, and also that we did not made it through the dynamic reactor as I was expecting. Although very funny that line that I was drawing seems to be holding as a support, but it is not, just to make sure that we are on the same page in here. But what is happening is that we have a big resistance all the way up here made for the dynamic reactor, and also we were in case for that money flow and basically just aiming to the upside. At this point, we're going downwards. I'll be looking for the flip of the ribbon. Right now, we have the first indication that we have that inverted hammer. It's not closed yet, so it's not a confirmed pattern just now. But also, I want to show you the disparity within this liquidity area. Look at how the bulls were acting up on 90.28% against 9,272. So this is a good idea to start looking at this zone for bouncing, especially if Bitcoin makes the move to the downside. I believe that we're going to be having a big wick to the upside or liquidity grabbing zone right down there. So INJ looking good. At this point, I would not be buying. My entry points will be at 1986 with the flip of the ribbon, or right after one or two candles with the flip of the ribbon, aiming to get out at 2361. So that's what I got for INJ. Turning it back to you, Piper.
All right, let's jump over and take a look at the DXY. And I got a couple of things here. I'm actually seeing some things on the DXY that's given me even more confirmation on the Fed liquidity call. So we have a nice big sell-off here. This is a 5-day. So going back to last Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you guys can see we're getting massive sell-off. And you look here on Wednesdays, this is from yesterday. Big, huge pullback there after that $2.7 billion confirmed yesterday as TLT liquidity going into bonds. Dixie is pulling down. I will point out that we do have a lot of support that we've gotten off of these exponential moving averages, these dailies. If you guys don't know, it's the MA ribbon. You just type in MA ribbon, and that's this one, and you can put in, if you want an exponential moving average, simple moving average, weighted moving average. I like the exponential moving averages. And I got the 50, 100, 200, 300, and you can set it to the time frame. I have it set on the daily. And that way you guys can put these on your chart too. They're absolutely free to use. And you get 4 exponential moving averages for the price of 1 indicator. It's beautiful. I love it. That's what I'm watching here, is this Dixie pulling back. We're getting a lot of sell-off, and you can see this gold moving up, silver moving up, stock market futures all green sitting over here. Guys, this pullback here, I went ahead and said, I want to make sure the Dixie pulls back when Fed liquidity increases. So how do I get that info? Well, let's go talk to ChatGPT. I said, what does the Fed liquidity going up do to the DXY? In summary, when the Fed increases liquidity, it often results in a depreciation of the US dollar, causing the Dixie to go down. However, this relationship can be influenced by other factors such as global economic conditions and investor sentiment. So we do have the Japanese yen having some issues. That is pumping the dollar, the Dixie. It should be pumping the Dixie a little bit. But as of right now, there's really nothing for the Dixie to actually pull back, except for Fed liquidity increasing. So that's what I'm watching there on the Dixie, and that's what I think you guys should be watching too. We're going to be looking at it. Thanks for asking about that. Flat Smack said Dixie going to 0. Don't think that's going to happen. Not in our lifetime. I think that we will share the global market with another global reserve, but the United States dollar control on the global reserve, even with all the talk and movement of BRICS that we've had for a year and a half plus, they're not, all of the BRICS nations combined do not compare to the control percentage of the global reserve as the US dollar. All of them combined is still less than the US dollar. So until that changes, that's how it's going to be. So guys, Friday, we're going to have Lunar Beaches on here with us. And then also we're going to have Blackie Chan, BC Port Corp. He's going to be on here. It's going to be Five Guys Friday. Tomorrow we're going to have Amy Lives Crypto on with us. But we might be doing a move for Lunar Beaches Crypto. He may be we may be building him a classroom right here in the academy for morning content before this morning show. Adding to that, we got Crypto Nightcap coming with FD White confirmed, FD White and Tradefly doing the night show. So we're just going to keep adding content. And if you guys were listening last night to Billy Goat Tells, we talked on there that we want the academy to be a one-stop shop with a lot of content creators. There's a lot of professors out of college, at a university. So here, that's what we want to make the academy, where you guys have different content, different points of view, different perspectives, all with quality and value. So that's what I got there. OC, let's kick it back over to you and see what you're looking at there on the charts, though.
Absolutely. Right here on the charts, let me just bring up Quant. Just a really quick touch on Quant. Yesterday we left out on this retest on the dynamic reactor. Also, another important part for the secondary area was, remember this area right down here. It seems like it moved on me a little bit. Remember that we still have that soft order block with that money flow POC. It seems like it's acting upon the price moving. Why? Because we can see those absorption wicks at the bottom. Usually when we start seeing those absorption wicks, we can see that we have a push to the upside. Let me clear this mess up a little bit. Might be a little too early for that spaghetti. But also I want to make two manual lines in here. One's going to be already broken, and this is the one that we already have broken right here. And the secondary one, which I'm going to be guessing, this guess is based on it is an educated guess based on where do I have my confluence. This one is going to be somewhere around these areas right here, because I already have seen that these areas are acting upon the price action. So the next thing I'm going to be doing here is going to right clicking here and add an alert on Quant line right here. So this is going to be my last line of support for a bullish movement. We haven't made so far a lower low, right? So we're still safe. And if we don't bounce out of these areas right here, which is 76.1, well, then I think we're going to be revisiting the lower areas of this range. So far, not looking that bad. We're still above the zero line. This gives me lots of hope on Quant making that bounce up and finally going somewhere to our next TP, which it's 87.0. For me, Quant might be getting ready for an entry right there. Not financial advice. Do your own research before committing to an entry. So trade it back to you, Piper.
All right, I'm going to do a quick run through here. You guys just bear with me. I got Render, Chainlink, and CleanSpark. You guys got to see what's going on. I was going to do Render, but you guys got to see what's going on with Chainlink right now. So let's jump over here. Let's take a look at Chainlink first. Chainlink, guys, we have this channel in here, the trading range that we've been talking about for a hot minute here, this bottom one. Right, there's the top, there's the bottom. I said, look, we got the value area low sitting down here. If we get up and we make it through the point of control and the dynamic reactor, we got the 50% mark, we should be heading back to the top, because that's what it happens when you have this. It just trades in this range over and over and over again. It's what it likes to do. Chainlink trades in ranges. You can see it there also. We are right now removing all the Mexican spaghetti, and I got a little excited there. Got a little bit too much spaghetti on my plate. Take a look here, guys. We are now getting from that bounce that we had there on the value area low, getting that upside move. We did get a pullback here, and now we are above that point of control. We are fighting on the dynamic reactor right now. If this gets here and can prove a close breakout above this dynamic reactor, guys, Link heading up to 16.55. Chainlink moving to the upside today, in contrast to the red, sea of red. It's the only green on my entire section there. So I wanted to show that. Let's jump over and check out CleanSpark real fast. CleanSpark in my buy range, guys. I said anytime it's it's in this box, this is a good area to accumulate CleanSpark. It has proven once again to be holding that as support. It's the golden pocket sitting here, right, just holding it clean, and it's been really good range to pick up CleanSpark. On top of that, we do have the 100-day exponential moving average, which has been support multiple times too, and it is still coming up, giving us that bounce area. As we wedge in here, guys, there is a chance that we could just really get another good breakout back into the platinum pocket. So that's what I'm seeing on CleanSpark. And then last but not least, it's Render. And let's jump over and check out Render. Where are you at, Render? So I told you guys that Render was actually my preferred play in comparison and contrast to what was going on with Fetch, AGIX, and all that stuff with the merger. I said Render would be my key area or my key asset that I would pick up for my ASI play until they get that ASI merger finalized, and I still stand by that. This is the golden pocket range that I said is a good area to pick up that we need to hold. So far, we've held it well, going all the way back here to Monday the 17th. This has been the area. It's the golden pocket, and anytime we're in here, I think this is a decent area to pick up. We do have the point of control sitting here with that 200-day exponential moving average, but we're still above the 300, looking pretty bullish on Render. Take a look at the oscillators. It is showing that everything is cooling off. You see how we're coming down here, but we're staying in this range. This is a nice cool off range for another upside. And once we break out of that golden pocket, watch for that 50. That 50 is going to be a resistance area coming in with the 50-day and the 100-day exponential moving average. That's what I got there on CleanSpark, Chainlink, and Render. OC, let's kick it over to you for one more chart, and then we'll talk it out, bro.
Absolutely. Let me just pull up something here that I have. Let me show my alerts in here, and we have basically been looking at AVAX. So on AVAX, seems like we already have been playing out as we were expecting. Remember, we broke the trend line in here, and I was expecting a breakout, retest, and off we go. So I was expecting a little bit of a higher movement in here. But also remember that I was looking for that head and shoulders. Seems like that head and shoulders neck, it's already been broken. So be careful. We are also already below the zero line. So that implications for me, it is a possible target, a possible measure target of around 973. So at AVAX, not looking good. The only redemption zone or the only redemption pattern that I can see out of AVAX is that we find some sort of support right here out of these highs, and just maybe look at this area as a spring or as a fake out. But so far, I don't see anything that points out other than that the trend assistance that points out at a bounce. So just be careful, especially because we are below the zero line right down here on our oscillator. So we're below the zero line. Other than that, turning it back to you, not looking good for AVAX.
Yeah, AVAX is hurting, and so is ICP. But we had a request for ICP. I know I said we were going to go talk it out, but I want to talk about ICP because Crypto Pollo asked for it, and cluck cluck. That's why. And shout out to Bobby Yez. Bobby Yez said, excited about the variety of class times at the Academy. Strong work. We appreciate you, bro. Yes, Luna Classic is dead. When I see posts like that, I see someone who bought hoping that it would make them a millionaire, and it hasn't done anything because it's garbage. Let's go over and take a look at what's going on with ICP here. We do have another bottom here that hit right here equal to this one that we had back on the 24th of June. That looks like it could be a double bottom, but what I'm seeing right now, guys, we are sitting in between the golden pocket and the platinum pocket. Let me see if there's a better fib that I can pull on here because I'm seeing some levels in here that need to be addressed. So let's do this. Let's go take a look. Yeah, no, it's the bottom to the top. Started at the bottom. Now we're here. All right. Yeah, I think we're going to actually be heading down to about $6.76 here. Guys, you can see strong play in the golden pocket. We had a nice rejection here. Tried to hold it as support, got rejected. Right now, I do see that we might come up. Look for a rejection on that golden pocket before it heads back down. But the reason that I say we might get upside movement before is because we do have the uptrend. We are starting to get a little bit of action there, and we're sitting really low on the RSI. Let's take a look at the daily, just see what's going on there. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like we may actually, I don't know, guys. It's a 50-50 call. We could get a continuation up here to that zero line, hit that rejection on the golden pocket. But I ultimately, I think we're going to be heading down to that $6.77 range on ICP, man. That's what I got there. Bro, thanks for joining me today on the show. I'm hoping that you're still here on Friday, but I know you'll be here tomorrow with Amy Lives Crypto. And so will TradeFly, I believe. TradeFly will be here with us tomorrow also. So it's going to be 4th of July. It's going to be fun. Lunar Beaches, David, I will be getting with you later so that we can figure out and talk out you moving over to the academy for a classroom in the morning time. So just hang tight. We will get in touch with you, but we got to get some things laid out first. And then the alumni, make sure if you are a member and you have joined the membership ranks of our YouTube, that you are connected to our Discord, because Crux is pulling the names tonight. And tomorrow we're going to be giving away $100 in crypto. Still haven't figured out what it is yet. Maybe we'll let Amy Lives Crypto decide. I don't know. And then also we're giving away a shirt from In and Out Crypto tomorrow. So love to have you guys all here for that. Amy Lives Crypto is going to be here with us, and she's always a very knowledgeable source of information. So looking forward to that. So OC, you got anything for the people on the way out, man?
Absolutely, guys. Make sure thank you so much for joining. If you joined yesterday for Really Go Tales, that really was a great show. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it next. Thank you so much for joining today and liking that video. If you haven't, a quick reminder, go ahead and click that like button, because if you don't, we all Mexicans might be blowing the hurricane your way, and you don't want that. So make sure you click that like button before we throw it to you.
Oh, good Lord. Don't. Hey, I'm in El Paso. You send a hurricane our way. That's an impressive hurricane. 1, 2. We don't have storm drains in El Paso because it's a desert. So you'll flood the city. I'll be up on top of the mountain waving my flag, trying to get someone's attention. So, but OC, yeah, you're gonna be in my thoughts, man. I know that's supposed to be hitting you guys late Thursday? No, early Friday morning. I think it is.
Friday.
Like,
yes,
yeah, Friday morning. I think it's like noon. It actually is supposed to be at your location. That's the center of the storm at around noon. So it will be interesting on Friday if you're able to be with us live on the stream. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, bro.
Absolutely. I already have tightened down a couple of cords so I can grab onto in case it blows out my house. No, just kidding. It seems like it's not going to be impacting as bad. Seems it's going to be up to a category 2. So
yeah, it's starting to degrade.
Worried.
Jamaica was a speed bump.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jamaica. Thoughts and prayers for Jamaica, but they were a speed bump on that. It's taking a lot of the oomph out of that storm. So, guys, yeah, it's keep OC in your thoughts. But he's absolutely going to be. By the way, you were talking about your orange shirt changes your contrast, and you went almost black and white. You look like you're from a 1950s movie there, OC, and the orange shirt. It was pretty interesting. All right, guys, that's all we got time for today. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. Guys, until then, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss. We'll catch you guys tomorrow morning.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, form a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, Cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.